Okay, sir.
Saying lifestyle is a bond, you know, and a lot of people they think of bonds as communication bonds, title bonds. Like I'm your friend. This is my best friend. This is my friend since third grade. Girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. This is my boyfriend. This is my mother, father. Title bonds, you know. And then there's like all kinds of bonds, family bonds. You know what I'm saying? Like career bonds and shit. Lifestyle bond is incredibly important. Nobody thinks about that.
You lose track of your friends when your lifestyles change too. Like you can feel
say that. It's so much tension. It's so much tension. It's so much tension. It's like incredible. Like you can't even ignore it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna lose your friends or you're gonna gain your friends. So you gotta just be intentional about that bond. You know, lifestyle bond is key.
Because like someone close to me, you know, I saw them this weekend and they're just on such different shit that I'm not on anymore. And they want me to be there with them, but I'm not there with them. And I feel wrong being there with them because it's not me no more. Like that type of party and that type of whatever they're doing, it's like we're not on that no more. And I'm trying to be up early, like not feel like shit the next day. I'm trying to like be on my shit. And, you know, if they're not with that anymore, then you're just kind of in two different places of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's one of them bonds that's like, it's one of those bonds that affect absolutely everything.
Yeah.
They affect all of your other bonds, you know, that you have with that person. Jeez, man. Some people will never have a certain amount of success because they can't figure out lifestyle bonds.
I mean, I feel it too. Like, shit, there's literally people who I'm like, yo, we were hella close, but it's like, yo, when I pull up and you ask me, like, oh, what you been up to? You're expecting me to answer like, oh yeah, I've been watching this show, I've been playing this video game, I've been doing this, and I'm like, oh no, I've been like focused and locked in and like trying to change my life and my career, and like that's all I do for 15 hours a day. What about you? And then niggas just don't know how to talk to me anymore. It's literally like, oh, cool. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm in the studio with like platinum niggas. You know, I'm just trying to make it happen. And it's like, then the conversation just ends. It's like, I don't know how to talk to you because you're successful. And that's when you know you just got to dip, because it's just like, yo, if you don't know how to talk to me if I'm successful, that means you're literally like, for example, like Sean's seen this, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even afraid to say this, but like my ex, you know what I'm saying? She was like damn near uncomfortable with me succeeding. That's why that had to end, because it's like every time it was like, oh shit, there you go, staying out till 2 a.m, again doing gigs, working your ass off. I only see you once a week because, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And then it was like hoping that shit wouldn't be as good as it was. People will like, and it's not even necessarily malevolent, it's not like people evil, but people will definitely sit there and kind of prey on your downfall for their comfort. It's not because they don't want to see you succeed, it's because they're so afraid that they're not going to succeed that they want to be someone to be there with them in their failure.
And you know what I'm just now thinking about, now that you just said that? It made me think about lifestyle bonds. The reason why they're so important, it goes back to another principle that I always say. Y'all know I always talk about values. Your lifestyles come directly from your values.
Yeah.
Your whatever lifestyle you're living is because of something that you believe is, this is the path that I want to take. This is the path that I'm going to take. This is the path that I'm you know, this is what I'm pursuing. This is what I value. Some people are like, yo, I value family. Like I've always wanted to have that. You know, I always wanted to have that other person. I always wanted to have that house. I always wanted to have this type of lifestyle. And when you have that value and then the other person's like, nah, all I want to do is tour and change the world and impact things.
Yeah.
Those two people are going to butt heads and they're going to split, you know, and everybody's seen that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why lifestyle is so important. It's an important bond because it actually is just a values bond. What do you care about? What do you fucking care about? Where's your heart at? Where's your values at? And you know, values is really akin to your perspective. And you know what I always say, I'll end it with this, you know, your values create your perspective, create your actions, continue actions, create your habits, continue habits, create your lifestyle, right? And AKA your destination. Yep. Your lifestyle is gonna determine where you're gonna be in 10 years, or in your whole life.
And in the deepness, if you trace it back, it really means that your lifestyle relates to what you believe is good, what you believe the truth of the world is, what you believe like actually the way to live, what you believe is right. And if you don't agree with somebody on what you think is right, with the right moral thing to do, with the correct, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all not gonna go to the same places. Like, for example, you and me, we get into, y'all don't even, the fucking 5 a.m. conversations
we just
have.
do ownership shit. We butt heads.
We butt heads, but
out,
the deep values.
Yeah, y'all got the same deep values.
No, I'm saying like when we have our like 5, when we're up till 5 in the morning talking about whether life is real and whether time is real and whether we're all the same, whether everything is everything or nothing is everything or everything is nothing. Yeah. Like when we get into that shit, like we disagree on some of that shit, but we always get down to like at the very base, the value is the same, which is why we can stem out and have all these values that are different because at the base it's the same. Yeah. But when you with somebody who's the base of the values, like the very bottom of the tree, the very roots of the shit are not the same roots that you're on, you just gotta dip. You gotta be out, man. It doesn't work.
And this is my thing for all of our followers, man. Like, if you want to be somewhere, you are really the sum of all of the people that you're around. For real. Like, really. And, you know, just take that a step deeper and look at lifestyles of the people that you're around. You know, because that's just their daily habits. Like, not what people say they want to do, not what people are doing, like, half the time. Look at what they're doing when nobody's looking.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the fucking studio when nobody's looking. I'm in the office doing accounting when nobody's looking. I'm up late, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure this shit out when nobody's looking. And, you know, I was always told that character is, you know, like what you do when nobody's looking. You know?
Just real quick, back to the relationship piece of all these values too. It's just like, you know, the other person needs to figure out they want to change as well too if they want to change their values. It's nothing you can push onto them.
Yep.
Oh,
you know? You'll never be able to change people's values.
It almost is natural. It's almost like you almost have to, like, I've always been one of those people, you know, growing up in a Christian household and shit. It's like, oh, change your values, you know? You're trying to attack it on that action level.
Yeah.
You know, instead of attacking it on the deep belief value level most of the time. And that goes to our conversation that we had earlier about getting out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
You have to, like, almost put yourself in the atmosphere. That's why you're the sum of your friends. Like, if you want to be an NBA nigga, you have to roll up and start playing with NBA people that are going to go to the NBA, are people that are in the NBA, are people that, you know what I'm saying? You got to pull up. They got the
values, yeah.
Yeah, you have to pull up with those people because you're not going to even stand a chance if you're not playing with those guys since age 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in there early. You feel me?
I mean, even shit like you, fool. Like when I was hanging out, just doing everything I was doing, being everywhere. And this is no shade to anyone in particular. It's just like I was around a bunch of people who were content. They were content with the music they were making. They were content with where they were at. And then I pulled up, and you weren't content. And I pulled up, and I was like, "Hey, yo, this shit that everybody else told me was fire. Here it is." And he was like, "That shit's weak." I was like, "What? Yeah. What are you talking about? That shit's weak." Like, everybody told me this shit is fire. Everybody who's content told me they were content with my shit. And then I seen where you was at, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not about to let you pass me up. Fuck that." And then just by being in the vicinity of you, bless you. But being in the vicinity of just like, "Hey yo, this motherfucker doesn't take shit for granted, doesn't like let weak shit be weak." You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, well, I can't let weak shit be weak. You know what I'm saying? But when and all it takes is one person. You can change a whole crew if one person is willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is, growing OakTownSoul, like the other people just fall off. We've had a lot of people, you know, come through, and we didn't do nothing. We didn't say nothing. We were just like, "Hey, yo, we're gonna be in here every day, and we're gonna be at the standard." And people were just like, "Yeah, nah, that's not for me," and they left. And honestly, I respect it, because if it's not for you, you're just gonna leave. So you don't even have to be afraid of holding yourself to a standard, or holding your homies to a standard, because if they leave, that's on them, and that was probably the way it was supposed to be.
It goes back to the culture, how like I've felt it ever since being here. Like the culture of the music here is to have good music. It's like, if that shit's sorry, that's not the culture. The culture here is good music.
Yeah,
so,
and it
you can feel it. You'll be down there making a beat by yourself and like, this is sorry. Sean would hate this shit.
Yep.
I'm about to make a new beat.
Yep.
I better make a
100%.
new beat before he hears this shit from upstairs.
Yep. You know this fool over here taking a nap, and you know you're gonna wake him up because that shit weak. He gonna hear it in his sleep.
Dude, sorry beats literally, because the studio is always been around, like in the house, in the living area. That's how we do it, because it's cheaper that way, and it's just like cool to live where you work sometimes and have that work live situation. But here goes the weird thing, like that's just funny. On a funny note, like good beats, I can always go to sleep over good beats.
Probably help you go to sleep too.
Dude, bad beats will like literally wake me up. Like I can, like that shit will literally wake me up, and like, I can't sleep.
Meme on that when he says that. Exactly what it is with the red eyes.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like having people around you that push you to those boundaries, and most of all, that's like culture. Like, what is culture? Culture is the internal government. Like I always say, culture is the internal government versus like the external government. Like here's the crazy thing. You will attract who you are. That's the thing about culture. You always attract, like, culture attracts who you are. You know what I'm saying? Revy!
There's
Like,
hella-
alert!
There's hella gems in this bitch.
Yeah, I got them for days, bro. Like, I didn't just wake up and get here,
No, I
bro.
know.
You know
Heard
what I'm
them.
saying? Like, but so there's a couple of different types of culture, right? There's the culture in a group, and then there's a culture on the inside. That's the most important culture that you have to cultivate, is who you are as a person. What kind of culture do you have within yourself?
Where do you get the culture from? Values.
Yep.
It all circles back.
Yep.
You know why your beats are trash? Because nigga, you don't have a value of good beats.
Yeah,
you don't have a value of fucking quality.
And it gets worse than that. You actually value like being comfortable.
Yep.
You value hobbyism.
Yep.
More than you value your want of this career, your want of this thing. Like you're not gonna take them beats to Timbaland. You're not gonna take them beats to For Real. You're not gonna take them beats to whoever your favorite beat maker is and be like, yo, this is still hot. That's why in our culture, you know the rule. If it's not 80% as your top, if it's not 80% as good as your top 3 favorite artists, then we're doing it over, or we're re-editing, or we're just scrapping the beat and going to another idea. Because we need to have a value of like, yo, I value this so much. Like I value what For Real and Timbaland created so much that, you know, I'm not going to let myself do anything. Like I might as well not even do it. I might as well not even do it if I'm not going to do it at that level.
I mean, you know me, bro. I was like, for the first, 3 years, I was hating on us. I literally, like, this man used to fucking, like, shout at me. He'd be like, "Play, nigga, give us our props. We're fucking fire." I'd be like, "No, we're not."
One of those conversations.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Yeah. And you saw the end of those.
I saw the last one. I saw the final one when Jordan was there.
And then 3 years later, I'm like, okay, we're all right now. You know what I'm saying? We doing our thing. Like 3 years later, I finally said, okay. Yeah. But then, peep this. We in Platinum Studios. You know who's not comfortable? Me. You know who can come over here and have motherfuckers who have plaques be like, yo, that shit you're doing is fire, and still think my shit isn't fire? Yeah. Me? Because I got my own
culture. Because that's the inner culture right there. That's the inner culture. But if you look at these guys, they've been telling y'all, like every person that you've ever idolized or that you looked up to has told y'all the same thing. They told y'all to get in the gym. They told y'all to put up more shots than anybody else. They told y'all that it's like 99% of the people don't actually do the work. They giving y'all the keys. Yep. It's just like, are you gonna listen? They giving y'all the keys to the internal culture. That's actually how they value things. And it's like, you know, like people out here, you know, like just doing 30 songs in 7 days, you know, and they more high quality than the songs that you've been doing for the last 3 years and shit. Yep. But also, bro, like there's a reward. There's a reward. Like when you have the right culture and you get those results finally. And like you said, you finally at that point where you're like, oh shit, we're pretty good. Like I've been thinking we're sorry, but we finally got to that point. It is obtainable. Dude. You know, if you're willing to put in the work. And every idol that you've ever had is showing you that.
they showing you that, hey, yo, if you work really hard. I was just watching the video with Drake on Degrassi looking ugly, fucking busted as fuck, hair cut all fucked up, just looking crazy and just acting. And I'm like, who would have thought this fucking dude off of Degrassi would be the fucking artist?
Superstar.
They're showing us. They're literally showing us like, yo, no matter where you're at, no matter how lame you might be, no matter how crazy you look, no matter how much you think you can't do this, like, you can do it, and you can do it at the highest level. I thought to myself when I seen that fucking Drake video, I was like, nah, I gotta get off my ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this motherfucker can come from Degrassi looking that whack, looking that crazy, and now we look at it and just be like, oh, that shit doesn't matter. Yep. You know, because there was something bigger inside of him. You know what I'm saying?
Especially from two motherfuckers like us. Yeah. Bro, we both come from the background where we was the sorriest fools in our music environment. Yeah. And we was like, yo, I don't have no talent. We literally thought we had no talent. But you know what? We was like, yo, because I'm dead last in the pack, I need to work harder. And because we worked harder, we actually passed up everybody who was in front of us.
And the other thing is work towards your strengths. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you gotta kind of let other people cover your weaknesses. You got to get people around you. I think this whole talk is like people getting the right people around you and creating culture. So the other part of that is like getting a culture where, you know, I'm not that good at this, that, and the other thing, but this person is. So I don't need to now try to get my weaknesses super crazy. Like, I could just have somebody else like that be their strength and this be my strength. And I can focus on my strengths. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like Clay, for instance, might not have the best rhythm, you know, and I might not have the best piano skills, but that's why we have a group. We have guys with the best piano skills and the best guitar skills and all that type of stuff. I might not be good at that, but I'm good at this. And if I have this person in the room, they can cover my weakness, and then I can just focus on my strength.